This is Calvin with AsItIs podcast number 31. Wow. I was really enamored with a presentation that I saw a couple of nights ago. Um, the hostess was, I think her name is pronounced Ronya. I don't know if it's Ronya or Ronya Lee Williams. And the participants were my wife, Nicole, and Terry Lynn Carrington and Diana Reeves. And the things that caught my attention was that they talked about two words that I use quite often, and those are communication and collaboration, with collaboration being the most talked about at that session. And it was such a beautiful thing because they talked about a conglomeration of talks that are going to take place. And they're talking about black arts, the black arts. And this one is about jazz. This particular one was about jazz. And so all these people, Nicole, Terry Lynn, and Diane, are all jazz musicians. And it was so phenomenal to me because of the fact that each one of them is a very, very hard worker. They've done a lot in their careers. Both Terry Lynn and Diane have received Grammy Awards. Nicole has received a lot of awards as well. And they were so humble, and none of them, not one of them, talked about their achievements. They talked about what they foresaw for the future, that being to become better at what they do. And it was so amazing because you got three giants here, three female giants in the jazz world, which has a lot of misogyny in it. I got to tell the truth. And yet they talked about how that their interaction with the men in that arena, and I guess men in general, is that they're protective of men. You know what I mean? They don't want to say things in the wrong manner. They don't want to rile men up. They just want them to know, we want to collaborate. We want to come together as one. And that struck me so hard because I never, my wife, sometimes she says some things to me and I get offended. My ego is tarnished and that kind of thing. And to hear her and them talk about protecting men, it made all the sense in the world to me. Black women are protecting their men. And it might come across in a different manner, but that's what the objective is. And to hear the three of them talk about that and talk about other things in terms of their careers and wanting to be better, not being satisfied with where they are right now, not kind of, what they call it when you get involved in your accomplishments, wailing, walling, whatever the name word is, I don't know what it is, but wallowing in their accomplishments, but trying to do things on a higher level. What struck me is that it wasn't just about music, it was also about life. And a lot of things came out of each of them in regard to life and how their musical life and their living life, and this was inferred, this wasn't something that they said, can come together as one. And some things that came out of that for me, two things in particular, one of them being that they talked about with the coronavirus and the so-called pandemic taking place, how they are dealing with it, and each of them talked about how it is like an opportunity, while at the same time some things are happening that were not happening when they were out in the world, doing their thing. And Nicole and Diana talked about how they were getting more rest. Terry Lynn, on the other hand, talked about how she was getting less rest. But then they talked about what are we doing about it? What can we do to improve our lives outside of the music arena? And two of the things they talked about was taking a nap in the daytime and walking. And me and my wife just came back from a walk. She's been walking with me for 2 days. Because I get up every morning and I walk the dog, and she's walked with me before, but this time I know that she heard that, and she took advantage of what she heard in this gathering. And then she took a nap yesterday, which which was amazing. And I'm saying that to say, just that collaborative effort. We're coming together to talk about jazz and our roles in the jazz arena and what jazz is all about and that kind of thing, while at the same time we're helping each other to live a more beneficial life, being beneficial to themselves and to the audience at large. And it came to me that collaboration is so important. Coming together is so important. Communicating with each other is so important. And then to see it done and have it done or participate in doing it, you get something out of it that wasn't intended. My wife didn't start talking so she could take naps and walk more. You know what I'm saying? But because of the collaborative effort that was made, this is what transpired as a result of it. So what I'm saying in essence is, y'all, I'm still pushing this. We got to collaborate. Whatever we want to talk about, whatever it is that we're doing, we got to collaborate. And y'all know about my book and how I ask you guys, get the book, get back with me, talk to me about what you felt about the book and how I can improve on the next volume. And my wife, she came to me and she said, Calvin, I think you need to be more descriptive in your book. You talked about a lot of good things, but the descriptive part of it was not as well as it could have been, and I appreciate that. In the next edition, which I hope is coming out pretty soon, it's gonna come out pretty soon. I'm gonna put that into the book, a little more descriptive and detailed circumstances, or the circumstances that I talk about are gonna be a little more descriptive. So anyway, I'm really pleased with what's going on in my life. I'm really pleased with what's going on in my wife's life, Terry Lynn's life, Diana Reeves' life, and the hostess Ronya Lee Williams, and kudos to all four of y'all. Y'all did an excellent job. I was really happy to be a part of it because I felt like I was with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So again, communication, collaboration, y'all. Keep them two words up front and try to implement them in your lives. That's a suggestion from me. I thank y'all for listening, and as always, imparting. I'll holla.